Hey, and what's up, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Journey Beyond podcast. And welcome to this video and to this series where we need to have a serious little conversation today about why you are still stuck in the situation that you are in right now. Most of your programs are running subconsciously. You are not even aware that they're happening behind the scenes, but they're controlling 99% of your life. At the root of these subconscious systems are habits, actions, or situations and experiences that we have been through that have programmed and shaped this, I call it code, because I love talking about our brain like a little computer that you can reprogram and program the way that you would like, because at the essence of it, it's basically just repeating systems on loop, right? So at the roots of these subconscious programs are behaviors, situations, talks, and belief patterns that have been shaping and have been consistently ruling your life. Now, the hard truth, why you are stuck where you are at right now in your life, meaning you're not satisfied with your current job, you're not happy in the relationship that you're in, you're maybe not happy with the relationship with yourself, you're not authentically showing up well enough, you're not communicating your needs and your desires to the world, and you're not standing up for your own beliefs, you're not standing up for what you want in life, and basically for that, letting your dreams just, fall and crumble in front of you, is because those subconscious programs are ruling your life. There's a very simple way, or basically a very simple answer to getting all of this fixed, and it's called identity work. So identity work is basically like an onion, peeling layer by layer by layer of what you believe that who you are. So from your external, how you view yourself externally, how you're presenting yourself in the way that you're acting, your behavior, your tonus, your language, the way that you dress, the way that your body posture stands, over to the actions that you take to enforce these habits, over to the thoughts that you're having on a daily basis, the thoughts that empower the actions and the habits that you do, and over to the belief systems that basically build upon the structure of who you are. And the essence of it, identity work, is cutting through the onion and working ourselves from the outer layers to the core to understand what is holding this construct and this system together. A lot of times we are not aware of what is happening truly, because we try to avoid whatever gives us pain or whatever brings us pain in life. This is why it's much easier to grab your phone and to go on social media and start doom scrolling. Because that little dopamine hit, that little piece of happiness when you're watching this funny cat video, or when you're watching, this guy fail because it looks funny, gives you a sense of happiness, right? So a lot of times when it comes to serious conversations that we have within ourselves, we then like to divert over to the things that are easy, the things that bring us joy and happiness, because it's hard. It sucks, if you want to be honest. Let's be honest, it sucks working on yourself. And it sucks working on things that are painful. Maybe getting real with yourself and being true to that you're not really showing up for yourself, that you're not doing the things that you should be doing, that you are being too soft-hearted with yourself, that you always try to find an excuse of, well, I didn't go to the gym today, because it just didn't feel right, or I did not feel like, writing or journaling today, or going for this walk because the weather was not so nice, right? We always try to come up with excuses that bring us back to the same loops and that enforce the same system and beliefs that we are holding on a current basis. And this is why identity work is so beautiful and so important, because it is understanding the structure and how you function, how your system functions, breaking it down, dissecting it, and then from there building a new belief system, building new thoughts, new habits, new routines that inevitably build your identity. Because identity is something tangible, or it's something fluid, something that is consistently evolving and consistently shaping and changing on a daily basis based upon who you are, how you're showing up, the thoughts and actions that you put forward into the world. And this is where I, for example, like to take a little hook in the identity workspace, because I work specifically with parts. The inner system work, or basically parts work from Schultz from Thun, is a very interesting and playful concept of how you can understand the differentiating parts or identity patterns that you hold. So identity overall is a construct that builds upon the thoughts and habits and actions that you take on a daily basis. I've repeated that now 3 times, so it really locks into your brain. But you have different identity based upon the environment that you're in. So when you're with your friends, with your best homies, you act maybe differently than when you're with your girlfriend and with your spouse. When you're with your spouse, you act maybe different, or you probably act different than when you're at work. Right? So these are all different environments that we as humans learn to adapt into and to change and amend our strategy of coping and just fitting in or just performing well within that certain and given environment. So these parts or these different part identities of you, they hold an identity in and of themselves. In parts work or in the system work, we like to give these parts names. Right? They can be made up names. They can be the supporter. They can be the warrior. They can be the 9-to-5 hero, right? They can be those words, but you can as well give them your very own personal names. Like Fred, the guy that always shows up and is Mr. Nice Guy at work. Or, I don't know, Peter, the one that is too shy to kind of open up in a relationship. When you identify, when you go through this process of identification, you simplify a hard or a difficult construct. When you simplify it, it is much easier to work with it because it doesn't seem so big, it doesn't seem so out of my reach. And from there on, we then start creating or establishing a communication basis. If you truly would now close your eyes and you would go into yourself and you would ask this part of you, this version, this identity pattern of you, the Peter at work, right, that is not really able to communicate his worth and is not unwilling to, share that he's being used from other colleagues and so on. If you bring this version up now to the front, and I like to always imagine a big theater space, you let this version of you come in front into the spotlight that is shining up on your stage. And you ask it, okay, what's your name? My name is Peter. Okay, Peter. So tell me a little bit about you. So it seems that you're a little bit dissatisfied. What is the reason for that? Well, because I'm not really being seen at work and people are just using me. And I don't know, I don't have the confidence in myself and showing up properly. And I don't know, I don't see myself worthy because the other colleagues, they're kind of bullying me a little bit or they're not taking me too serious. Okay, that's an identity pattern. That's the belief. Write that down. Understand that this is the belief, this is the system that is running this specific identity pattern. Now let's take you to your friend circle. Let's say that Steve, confident Steve, when you're with your homies, right? You're going out, you're being really talkative, you're really open. Go into yourself, ask Steve to come into the spotlight. Ask him, Steve, what's up? Tell me about yourself. What's going on? Yeah, man, I just feel comfortable. I just feel comfortable in when I'm with people that I trust, right? I feel confident. I feel like my self-worth is quite up. I speak quite loud. I'm quite expressive. Okay, cool. These are character traits. Then take the next one, for example, in your relationship. Let's say that's Mike, right? And you ask Mike, please come forward. Share us a little bit about your view on why you are in this situation, why you are feeling the way that you are feeling. And then Mike could potentially say, well, because I feel that if I speak out my truth, I might hurt someone. I don't want to upset anybody around me. I just want to people please them. I just want to make her happy or him happy. Right? And that's all I care about. I don't want to make big fuzz. I'd rather just make myself small in order to fit in and not have any conflicts. Right? If you're understanding, if you're looking at this construct right now, you have 3 different identities that speak differently, that maybe hold and see themselves differently, that act differently, and hold different belief systems. Different in the sense of that they may vary in each area. But same because usually there are underlying belief systems that you have had before you've created this part identity in your work, in your relationship with your friend, right? And that is the core of it. Because if there are underlying belief systems that rule all parts, but there are then differentiating belief systems that specifically in that individual part come about and show their strength, We then work slowly our ways down to getting to that root, to the core, to maybe a feeling, which happens a lot, of not feeling good enough, not feeling seen enough, not having enough love for yourself, having low confidence, and really trying to cover that with people pleasing. While we get down to that root of the core problem that is underlying all of the others. Because if you understand, if you solve the problems at the roots, the rest will branch out and solve themselves slowly, bit by bit. So that's basically the idea of parts work, right? You make it so simple that it's graspable and that you don't feel scared to actually approach a problem that is usually so big and so scary that you didn't want to take a look at it, and you didn't even want to consider that problem because it scared you, right? And from there we then build. We do new reframes of your situation. We look at the truth, the real truth of why you've been thinking that about yourself. We go into those situations and discover, hopefully, in most cases, that the truth behind the lie that you have been told is actually that you are good enough, that you hold enough love for yourself. Just that entire situation of whenever that happened, let it be a bully in school that mocked you in front of the entire class, and from that moment onwards, you held the belief that you are not good enough. You're not loved because that situation marked you, traumatized you, that it ingrained itself into your identity, into your DNA. From every situation that you build upon from this moment of your life, this underlying feeling of I am not good enough no matter what, because I will probably be hurt again, started rising up, started manifesting itself in different ways. And that is the idea behind identity work, to get to the roots and build yourself up from that point to a position where you have new belief systems in place. The old ones have been falsified. You have new actions that support this new belief system, and thoughts, actions, and habits that build on a consistent basis. Because at the end of the day, it is the discipline that you put in every single day. It's the discipline that it takes for an action to manifest into a habit and into a routine that will determine if that problem will actually get resolved or not. And that's the entire beauty of identity work. It's about really getting one with yourself, understanding yourself. And let me tell you something. In this process of understanding what your underlying areas of default are, what your underlying belief systems are, there is a part that is not really spoken about much, but that part of awareness of yourself that will already make all of the difference. Because once you understand, usually we are too scared and we try to avoid problems because we don't know the answer. And for us humans, we always need to know everything. We need to have control. And that problem that we are unaware of is outside of our control. Hence, we try to avoid it. The moment you regain control and power over yourself, you understand the systems that have been manipulating you, and you're able to then, from there, go forward and claim your power, claim that assertiveness, that I am good enough. Whenever it comes up, you reaffirm, I'm good enough. No, I am good enough. No, listen. Whatever you're saying right now, I am good enough. Right? This is reclaiming your own power, and the magic behind that is just, wow, mind-boggling. I've seen people break down in my sessions because we really went deep, and they started crying so much. And at the end, we finished up that session with a strong anchor, a strong retapping into emotions and states and memories of where you've had that feeling already confirmed, and they broke down again in tears, but then because of tears of joy, because they actually were able to consciously understand the reason why they have been lying to themselves. And that, let me tell you, is the most beautiful thing that you could possibly witness as a coach, but as well the most beautiful thing you could possibly experience as a coachee, because that changes everything. everything in your life. And this is why I'm putting myself forward as a coach. This is why I'm putting my message out. This is why I'm putting these videos out, for you to understand that there are levels, or there are techniques, or there are basically practices that you are unaware of right now that have the potential to change your life forever to the better and heal unresolved trauma that has been going on for I don't know how many years, right? And that is the core of what this entire journey beyond is about. Beyond the ordinary, beyond the trauma, beyond the lies that you have been telling yourself. And from this moment on, we can grow together. We can spread our wings and just enjoy life in its full beauty, in its full essence. So with this being said, that is my message for you today. That is the video for this week. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. I love all of you. If you want to work with me specifically, and if you want to let go of these patterns that are no longer serving you, if you want to accelerate or improve your life in any of these manners that I've explained before, then reach out to me on Instagram. You can find me on the tim.altenhofen. Send me a DM. Tell me why you want to change yourself. Give me a reason that is strong enough for why you are dissatisfied with where you're at right now and why you want to move forward. And from that point onwards, let's change your life. Let's make the work. Let's get it done. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and see you soon.